The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSAN, has declared a nationwide strike beginning Monday. The action follows the alleged dismissal of more than 800 Nigerian workers by the Dangote refinery for joining the union. In a statement after an emergency meeting, PENGASSAN accused the refinery of replacing the sacked workers with over 2,000 expatriates, mostly from India. The union described the move as a violation of labor laws and an affront to Nigerian workers. It has now directed members across the country to shut down operations from Monday, with some field locations expected to down tools as early as Sunday. A public affairs analyst, Taiwo Olakbade, joins us now to discuss the impact on the Nigerian people. Hello, Mr. Taiwo.
Hello, good evening, and thank you so much for
having me. Hi, good evening. Yes, now what are the potential economic and social consequences of a nationwide shutdown by oil and gas workers, especially on critical sectors like power and transportation?
Thank you very much. Let me start by saying that coming towards the island, inward mainland, a few minutes ago, I saw a bit of unusual queues around some filling station, and this is not to create panic of anyhow. That is just my candid and very honest observations of some filling stations around, moving from island to mainland, and even some on Ikorodu Road. However, based on making reference to what has happened between Dangote and PENGASSAN this time around, we have had issues between Dangote, Nupeng, Dangote, Dabman, Dangote, and with some other major stakeholders in the nation oil sector. Now, it looks like the battle continues between Dangote and the so-called major oil stakeholders or marketers in the country. The bottom line is the federal government must be very conscious of anything that can cause crisis within the polity, because whether we like it or not, our economy is still very fragile. And you and I know the nature rather, and the state of the Nigerian economy. So anything that can affect it in any way, particularly, we are talking about the mainstay of the nation's economy. We are talking about the electricity. We are talking about the power sector. Nothing we can do whatsoever without constant power, without constant electricity supply. So anything that can affect, particularly negative-wise, the federal government must be very conscious, must be very up and doing in ensuring that whatever the challenge or the crisis under any guise, they must quickly intervene and ensure that this strike, as called by PENGASSAN, did not see the light of the day. That doesn't mean I'm siding or I'm on the side of government and against PENGASSAN. I'm just saying the reality. Our economy is so fragile, and we must collectively prevent or avoid anything that can further escalate crisis because of the nature of a socioeconomic status of the country. Dangote has said, and had also clarified that those who are disengaged was because they're also doing internal reorganization of the company. And there was also this allegation coming from Dangote that they've also discovered some internal saboteurs. Of course, in every other sector, just like in every 12 disciples of Jesus Christ, there was one Judas Iscariot. So in this instance, Dangote said they've also uncovered some of their staff who they have also described as internal saboteurs. And you and I, let us be sincere with ourselves. You cannot expect somebody who has invested up to about $20 billion to provide a need for us, which the government has failed to do in the last couple of years, and to just watch aside and allow the $20 billion investment to go down the drain. No, as an investor, as a private entity, as a corporate entity, nobody will invest in any venture and see a possible crisis and allow it to slip by. No, I don't think so. Even governments, in some instances, if they have also uncovered some kind of saboteur or sabotage in any case, they will quickly move in and checkmate it. And that's exactly what Dangote has said, that they are not just disengaging these workers, they are also reorganizing the company. And because, according to them now, they've discovered some people who are also frustrating the full activities of the Dangote refinery. But for me, as a Nigerian, I will expect that the government should intervene, call both parties together to a dialogue table, let Dangote present his case, and let PENGASSAN also present his own case, because there are also background issues to this crisis of Dangote also bringing in some CNG buses. I think about 4,000 for now, still expecting additional about 6,000, which PENGASSAN believe will also disengage them from this major oil sector. And for PENGASSAN, they are also seeing possibility of their $1 billion investment also going the drain because of the decision of Dangote not just to produce or not just to refine, but now to also transport the finished products to their destinations. So the PENGASSAN, the DAPMA, the NUPENG, they've also seen a kind of fault in that regard, that Dangote has continued to monopolize every sector of the nation's economy.
All right, Mr. Taiwo, we have a situation now. 3,000 Nigerians were fired from the Dangote refinery, only to be allegedly replaced by 2,000 expatriates from India. What exactly does this say about local content enforcement as well as labor protection in Nigeria?
I know that the local content seriously talks about protecting Nigerians in terms of job opportunities, except in a very rare case where we cannot find a local, that means a Nigerian, to do the job, is when it is allowed that job can be given to expatriates. And I know there are also regulations as regards how many expatriates that you can also absorb, that you can also employ, as the case may be. If Dangote indeed has violated anything that has to do with expatriate quota or anything that has to do with local content, it is for PENGASSAN. It is for all other major sectors in the nation's oil industry to also showcase them. They should come out with the books. They should come out with evidence. We are talking about a wide allegations now against Dangote. And you and I know that when Dangote started this business, it has all been one battle to another. You know, at the point, the man came out to say, if I had known that the cabal in the oil industry is even more vibrant than those in the drug industry, he may have considered not even investing his $20 billion into providing a project, a company in which our government, back to back for how many years, has failed to do. So that's why most Nigerians are somehow on the side of the Dangote, because he saw the need. Ordinarily, we saw what happened during the importation of fuel, what's it called again, when we are subsidizing the fuel, when some Nigerians are making a hell of money from that cartel. Dangote did not do that. Dangote eventually saw that, let me provide the long-lasting solution. And that's why demand decided that let me go the way of constructing a refinery so that we can refine the product. How long did we see the crisis of long queues at our filling station? It has become a thing of the past. How long have you seen people running to filling station to buy fuel at what do they call it again? This price of that we have to buy at a very higher price when there is scarcity. We have not seen that maybe in the last about a year or almost 2 years now. Right. It is because we have somebody who has decided that let me refine this product locally. However, I'm also against the tendency of monopolizing any sector of our economy.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Taiwo. Sorry to cut you off. Thank you so much for that detailed analysis on the current situation in the or the PENGASSAN versus Dangote refinery situation. We will be moving on from that discussion. Thank you so much for your input.